Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight here on YouTube. I'm Diane Lupo, co-host of Roland Comtois Soul Stories. Now, you're not watching a mime in action. You're actually watching Roland himself channeling messages. Those are his signature purple papers, known throughout the world as really love letters from the beyond, right? They're messages from our loved ones. Roland's writing a message now from Michael. And as it unfolds, I'm going to ask all of you to hold the energy for this sacred process. You see, Roland doesn't just sit down and write a message. It takes a little intention and time. And he gets into that sacred space. And then he just waits for our loved ones to show up because they're always around us. They're always with us. But some are a little more boisterous than others, right? They get through the crowd and they get through to Roland. So how about if you all get nice and comfy, get relaxed, take a nice deep breath in through your nose, release the breath, and hold the energy for this process, this beautiful process. Now, if you're not familiar with Roland's work, he has 3 books actually. His newest book on Llewellyn Worldwide Publishing is Signs of Spirit. And in that book, you will find stories of the purple papers written by their recipients. So the families or the wife or the child who received a paper at some point in the last, say, 10 years from Roland writes what it meant to them, writes how it came to them. Because he writes the paper today, but that paper right there might not be delivered for weeks to come, years to come. I witnessed a paper that was so old, Roland didn't even keep it with the rest of the groups of papers. And at one event in California, we said, go in the back room and get that paper with the mountains. He knows each one as if it were his child because you see, he's had the conversation with our loved one. So when Michael's family, that Michael, is sitting in the audience, he'll know whether that purple paper is for this Michael family or maybe for another family yet to meet. So it's a very interesting process. As long as I've worked with Roland, and he's got a great team of people all throughout the states who work with the purple papers. We all say the same thing. It always blows us away when the paper and Roland and their loved one and the person in the audience all connect. Well, now we're doing it on Zoom and on Facebook, and he's still making the connection. So what does that tell us? That tells us that our loved ones know no boundaries. We put up the mental boundaries. We don't think they can reach us or talk to us or see that we just had a beautiful baby or that we're getting married or that we're having a tough time, but they do. You just have to get into this quiet space. Calm your breathing down. Calm the noise in your head and listen. In fact, if you'd like to really learn about meditation, Roland's series of meditation and mindfulness begins this evening, and you can still get in. Just maybe email Roland via his admin. It's rcomtois.admin@gmail.com, or go to his website, go to the events, and there's a link there for you to click. It's going to be amazing. I know as a student of Roland's, I'm always blown away by his classes because he always goes the extra mile. There's always a trinket of information that's like a precious gem that you can bring into your life, you can bring into your practice, you can bring into whatever work you do. It's always a great learning process. So if you can, join us tonight for motivation and mindfulness, meditation and mindfulness. Get motivated to meditate. Actually, get motivated to meditate because, especially in times like this, which we've never experienced before, a worldwide pandemic, still going on. And now the stress of going back to school and trying to assimilate into a new environment. I know many of you are having sleepless nights, restlessness, weight gain, weight loss. It's a difficult time. Even if we're not fully into it, you know, like me, I don't listen to the news. I don't listen to the death count. I don't listen to the statistics. I know what they are and then I let it go. But it can be very overwhelming as the information unfolds. And this process can just help calm you and bring you to your center. And now here's your host, Roland Comtois.
Hey, Diane, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. And thanks everybody for joining us tonight. You know, I love starting soul stories this way. I love connecting to that energy, the voices in my head, the feelings I have inside about the people that want to share their messages from beyond. And these messages are always about, really are always about hope. I'm just having this kind of epiphany right now, Diane. The messages are always hopeful. I mean, I know that, but something's happening right here.
You know, that's funny because the word hope has, you know, I've been pulling a card a day for everybody because Sunday morning I heard everybody needs a little hope.
Oh,
So I've been pulling a card a day, but it's so amazing that it's all been really about being hopeful and positive and looking forward. And just the fact that our loved ones are communicating to us via you, via your purple papers, that gives us hope, right?
it does give us, it gives us
It
hope.
gives us hope.
It gives us hope. It gives us an opportunity to live through this very challenging time. It gives us hope to keep carrying on and to push as hard as we can. And this first message is from a son to a mom. The son, his name was named Michael, and he's saying, "Hey, mom," you know, and he's got this kind of energy. He was a young kid, and he wants to talk to his mother. Oh, and right at this minute, he told me his mother lives in Florida
Oh,
right now. I just felt that right at that second. And so this boy, this young kid is just trying to talk about who he was and what he went through and what his life was like, what his journey was like. And then he wants to also say something to her about how strong she was. And when you look at the paper, you see how it's highlighted under here because it's an important part of it. Don't blame yourself. You are strong. And he says it a few times. And it is about hope. It's not just hope for the family that will receive this paper. It's hope for all of us.
that's
It's
right.
hope for every person who's going to be participating in this experience. That's what these do. That's what these things do. They bring hope. The other paper is from someone named Gertrude.
Oh,
Gertrude. Not
we've
even,
had that name before.
I don't even remember. So
Yeah, that's my
Gertrude,
middle name. So I remember that came up before. I think that was, you had a paper not too long ago delivered to,
yeah, it's interesting to me that they just, all these
yep.
voices, not to, yeah, was there one?
Yes, October 20th, 19
Oh, wow. You
and
know,
August 3rd, 2019.
oh, wow, two last year. Okay, so now there's another one. I mean, these voices parade around in my head and they just, it's like they need a place to leave their message, to deposit their energy, to put their energy, you know, a place to just remind us that we are connected and that that there's this whole amazing evolution that happens after here, and that the continuity and the continuum of life and love especially carries on. And that's what one little purple paper does. It offers something, Diane, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Maybe we need to call them the Purple Papers Messages of Hope.
Maybe that's what they really are. Maybe maybe there's a bigger story to be told. Maybe there's something else to say. But these purple papers are on a mission, more than I think I'm on a mission, but they are on a mission to bring as many messages and as many moments as they possibly can, moments that say I'm there. And these papers say something. I'm with you. And then I can't get over that. I'm very moved by this kid. Apparently his mother lives in Florida. Maybe he was from Florida. I don't know. Oh God, the
I'm
interview.
scrolling through our people who said hello and hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. But I don't see anyone from Florida yet.
Not yet. Okay. Well, maybe she'll find her way to me. Maybe we don't even know each other yet. Maybe that hasn't come yet, right? Maybe that moment hasn't come, and we've seen that many times before. This morning when I was on 1111, there was a paper from someone named Rex that I've had since 2011, and I want to meet that family. And I got to tell you a little secret. I think that Rex was a dog. I think
Oh,
that paper is from a dog. Now, I'm not going to get involved with that right now, but I think it was from a dog. And
that's
people,
rare. That
it,
is rare.
it is rare that there's a purple paper, but sometimes people say to me, well, it's a dog. The dog barks. How do you hear it in English? Or my mother spoke Portuguese. How do you hear it in English? Well, there is a universal vibration of love that is the translator of the message. I mean, love doesn't need to be a dog or Portuguese or Italian or something else, right? Love doesn't need a language. It happens on its own. It happens instinctively because they exist, you exist, and in the middle are people like me who do exactly what I've been doing for a long time, telling you out there that love is everlasting. Oh my God! Hold on a minute. Hold on. The whole place is full of people. Right here, right now. There's a Pamela who just walked into the room. Bobby. Bobby meaning man, not woman. There's a young guy, I think he was in his 30s or 40s, and his mother has written books. He's in the room. I mean, the whole place is full of people. You know when they disappear, Diane? Do you know when they disappear?
No, when? Because I know being on the road with you, it seems that they
You can't get rid of them. No, I mean that. I don't mean that. Well, they disappear when we believe in the separation of our connection. That's when they disappear, or we disappear, maybe. It's when that moment, when that separation occurs and we no longer believe that we have access to them, then they disappear. But wouldn't that be the same about angels or energy or God or divinity? That when we feel separate from that, that energy disappears from us and we no longer have the same access that we had before.
we have to ask, we have to talk to them. We have to ask their counsel and their guidance and
So
all of it,
all of it, all of it. And our loved ones are there. I often think about my mother. If I called my mother during the pandemic, what would she say to me? So what would your loved ones say to you really during a pandemic? Think about it for a minute. What would your mother say to you? What would your dad say to
Yeah,
you?
right.
You
Right.
know?
Well, my mom and dad lived through the Depression, so my mother would probably say, "Suck it up." I told you to always have extra toilet paper.
I mean,
But
what
yeah,
do they say to us? Really, this is serious out there in the world. What would they say to us? And then, and then, why do we need a medium then? Why? What would they say to us? What would they want to say about our lives together? Right? And if they are truly communicating with you, why do you need a guy in the middle? I mean, really, Diane, why? What do
well,
you
I think for the same reason when you ask for a sign, give me a sign, and you see 333, and then you go, oh, give me another sign to make sure that was a sign, or you're just paying attention. We get so caught up in our lives. We get so busy. I used to be like that. I was constantly going around shh, and not taking a moment to just stop and look around.
I want to get to the day where our spiritual communication is based in total trust. Because in that space of trust, there's respect, there's love, there's everything. And in that space, when your loved one sends a message, there's no thinking about it. You experience it. So I don't think about this. If I thought about this, I'd go bonkers. Oops, the camera's all blurry. That's weird. The camera's all, hello. Oh my
As the
God.
papers, it must be all the energy.
Woo! If I thought about all of those papers, really, if I thought about them all, if I thought about the fact that they're all there waiting to be delivered, I'd get overwhelmed. But instead, I go to that place, right, where trust is. Go with me. I go to that place, that little space, that little reservoir of energy where that trust is, where I can really feel that vibe and then translate what I feel into a language that I understand here. And it always comes out to be that the person who will receive this, they will understand the language too. They'll understand the energy too. They'll understand it as if it was written for them, because we've seen this happen time and time and time again. Michael was young, Gertrude was old. She talks about her last 6 years and how exhausted she was, and she said that she had been, her body was exhausted. Now, yeah.
Susan writes that she had an Aunt Gertrude. So this was
Oh,
an older woman.
oh, this Gertrude is an older lady for sure. Yeah, yeah.
Susan, are you hearing this message?
So
Because
let me read the message. I'm sorry, Diana, to interrupt, but
no.
Gertrude felt so exhausted from the last 6 years. I found no way out of this. My body had been so exhausted. I wish you knew how I felt, but I couldn't talk anymore. I love that you took care of me. Now, sometimes, Diane, and I know that someone is talking about their aunt, but often aunts and nieces have lovely relationships.
Yes.
You know, they have beautiful
Yes.
connections. Think about your uncles and your people. I mean, you've had
Yes.
beautiful connections. So there's something about this purple paper that belongs to someone out back to Florida, for God's sakes. I can't get rid
Is
of
it about
Florida.
Florida tonight?
Hey, my Floridian friends, this night's for you. Okay? No,
I
I'm
know.
only,
Well, and Diane wrote, and I think this is a good point. We're so afraid of believing what we want most.
oh my God.
Isn't that's good? That's on target with for a lot of people. They're
Yeah.
afraid of it.
Look, there's three colors, yellow, green, and pink here. You know those are yellow, green, and pink. You see it clearly. If I said take the yellow one, you're going to trust it because you see it and feel it. But now I'm asking you out there, I'm asking you to go to a different space, to a different place, right? Diane is right. Diane is absolutely right. What did she say again?
We're afraid of believing what we want most.
That's very profound, Diane. Thanks. That's very profound. It's a deep statement. It goes more than just connecting to our loved ones. There's a bigger message behind that statement alone. But I hope that at some point along the way, we begin to trust those moments that we get, you know, those messages that we get, those messages that we feel, those moments that we have, and really, really claim them as our own.
Susan is saying yes to the Gertrude paper.
That's funny. Well, this is a relative, so it's not from a friend of a friend or a friend of, you know, this is
Right.
a relative connection that I feel. So, Susan, did you like your aunt? Was she a nice old lady? Was she someone you felt a connection to? You know, I'll wait for Diane to see that on the screen. I mean, was she someone that you felt a link to? You know, that this was someone you cared for in your life or thought lovely things of, because by the way, the Gertrude in on my purple paper, she was a nice old lady.
Ah,
She was a nice old lady. She was a lovely, she was a lovely old lady. And so Michael and Gertrude, and if we went through the list of names, I mean, it just doesn't stop. As you know, you see them, Anna Maria and Anthony and Bertha and Bobby and Brian have found each other, and Cecilia and Claire and DJ. Poor little DJ, by the way. Look at this. Okay, wait. You want to know what I've been carrying around since 12/18/2009? Look, everyone. DJ, right?
ah,
This is a little
Found his
boy that
way.
was hurt by his parents.
Oh,
And I'm
when you
sorry.
channel a message like that, Roland, do you stop in your tracks sometimes?
Yes, that was a little boy.
Oh,
He was a 7 or 8 year old little boy, and he wasn't treated well. And I said, "And okay, look, you want to come behind the scenes of what it's like to
yeah.
be someone like me?" On 12/18/2000, what it was the date? I already forgot. I'll go get it. Let me get the paper because it's important to talk about DJ. Maybe this is important.
And while you're doing that, let me just say that Susan said very much so. So she was very close to her aunt.
Oh, okay. Then we may have found a connection. How lovely.
Ring a bell. I
Yeah.
don't have bells.
12/18/2009.
Oh,
DJ found his way. And on the paper, it has barely nothing but this little flower on the right hand, on the side of the house. And that little boy, who by the way was from Rhode Island, which I'm now going to add to this purple paper. Hang on, everybody. Let me bring the camera
oh,
down.
wow.
This paper was recorded on 12/18/2009. Today is 9/2/2020. I know that this little boy was from Rhode Island. I just know that right at this moment. He was a young kid hurt by his people and wasn't cared for. And
Oh,
I had him, oh man, come on.
but he came to talk to you. Imagine a little boy found your voice. He found you, found your light. Why?
Well,
Right?
because someone needs to know
Oh,
that he's free from that suffering that he was put through. He was a young kid. I remember this paper like I wrote it yesterday. By the way, I remember him coming to me and saying that he doesn't hurt, and I said, well, so why am I putting the little flower on the paper? And he said the little flower is there to tell you that I've grown, or that we grow, that we carry on. You know,
ooh.
it
Life
was
continues. Life
yeah,
goes on.
yep, that he grew, he's growing, his spirit is growing, and I felt him, and I felt him in such an extraordinary way. Now, all of a sudden, 11 years later, I know he's from Rhode Island or was from Rhode Island.
And here's another question, Roland.
Yeah.
I see the process, I see you work, and I know sometimes, I say slow down on the papers because you'll write like 9 or 10 right before an event.
Yeah.
The end of each paper, how how do you come to a completion of that experience with that particular spirit? Do they just step aside? Do you ask them to step aside? Is it a mutual understanding? How does that happen?
That's a good question. That's really a good question. And so there have been times when I've channeled one message on multiple purple papers. I think the most has been 3 or 4, one message that was 4 pages long.
Wow.
Now, I have an agreement with the gang to keep it to one paper and to keep it concise and as clear as possible, because some of the people I talk to, they can go on and on.
Especially those Italian ones.
They can go on and on and
That's
on.
true.
And so I just come to this understanding that this is what I need to say for now. But as you know, and you've seen many times, that this gets filed away somewhere inside, as we've said a million times before, and that somehow I'll be able to extract more when I need to extract more. The other thing is, there's a lot of Michael papers in here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Georges and a lot of Jameses. And I think that they're connected somehow. And you've seen this on our travels.
Right.
You've seen it before. Oh, man. So the question is really for you out there, what is it going to take for you to believe that your kids? Michelle, what is it going to take for you to believe that Kevin is talking to you? Carol, what is it going to take for you to believe that your daughter's around. Daniela, what is it going to take for you to believe that your mother is looking out for you, right? So the question is, what is it going to take for you to really believe that the connection that exists between you is still present? And that's the question.
Right. It's very difficult to teach someone how to trust.
That's right.
That has to be an organic experience.
Well, you have to learn that, right? You have to learn that over time. And you learn that when you get more messages and you have more moments and you make more connections. So you learn that over time. You make those connections over time. And what you do during that period is you keep a collection, if you will, of those messages, right? I remember once I told a woman to fill a jar full of pennies, because your father's going to send you a lot of pennies. Well, she had a jar this big full of pennies.
Wow.
And it became a validation, which built her trust and really believing that the connection they have is real. Oh boy, the whole place is full. I mean, truth is I could write 9 more messages, but we don't have time for 9 more messages really, because it's one name and one story and one moment after another. Wow. You know, it just takes a little bit of trust to build the space of connecting. And when they come to you, don't negotiate the voice or the message. Just embrace it. Just embrace it for what it is. And let it be something magnificent for you.
And don't discount the dream experience.
Yes.
I have to tell you, Roland, because you've channeled, thank you so much, my father to my son, who was born 12 years after my father passed. When my son was just starting to talk, he would talk about Papa, and he would say he saw Papa in his room. But as he got older, he lost that a little bit. The other day he was on the train, he fell asleep, and he had a dream. And he said, my father came to him and he saw him all dressed in his custom made in his tie. And he said, I just want to shake your hand.
Oh my.
And we shook hands and he said, good. I wanted to check your handshake. You have a good handshake. And Michael doesn't know that, but my father would make, I have 2 older sisters, all our boyfriends would have to shake hands. And he would say, wimpy handshake, I don't.
Oh my God.
It was all about the handshake. And Michael woke up, a little teary-eyed from that dream. He said, I felt like he was really with me. And I said, well.
He was really there somehow.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. I think it's so amazing. Where we go from here is someplace beautiful. Where we travel from here is somewhere beautiful. But since we're here, we have to be here. We have to be here. We have to be here with live out our lives. We have to fulfill our path and our destiny. And maybe one little message from someone named Michael or Gertrude or DJ opens up that doorway for someone to really be able to be connected and feel the love and know that it's okay.
Now, as a medium, Roland, when you dream, is it different for you?
No, it's magnificent.
Higher space? Do you go to a different space?
Well, we can save that for another day. I go to places, girl. No.
He's a traveling man.
I'm telling you, I'm going to places now. I'm painting those places I go to.
Oh, can't wait to see.
I am painting. I have painted 30 or 40 paintings.
Oh my gosh.
Of the places I see in my dreams or the places I visit, which is out there in the universe somewhere. It's amazing to me. I mean, the whole thing is amazing. So as a medium, I travel around. Hey, as a medium, I get around. I get around, and I
used to say that about me.
I get around and I make those connections, and I see these beautiful things, and I feel this incredible energy, and I imagine it's going to continue and continue and continue well beyond this place. So Michael and Gertrude are the names, and DJ for today. As always, it's thrilling to be here with you, Diane, and all of you that have made your way here tonight. What were you going to say, Diane?
I was just going to say, should Susan contact you about Gertrude or?
Yes, you can contact
Okay,
rcompois.admin@gmail.com.
I'll write that in the chat box.
Yep. And please contact us ASAP so things don't get lost in the shuffle, because that can happen very easily since I'm getting lots of messages about these purple papers. Well, that is the situation tonight. Yeah. I got a lot on my mind right now, a lot on my heart, a lot brewing around me. But I know that, we can only deliver as many as you can deliver in a half an hour. And that's where we are tonight.
Will you
Listen,
have a gallery showing of your paintings someday?
I will have a gallery showing of my paintings in 2021 in a couple of cities that are being worked out. So we'll see. Hey, you might be able to see them. You might be able to buy them. You might be able to whatever them. I don't know. Maybe you'll get to go on an exploration yourself into those paintings. Who knows? But listen, we have enjoyed being with you. If you don't know this, Diane and I have been on on this Soul Story show now for how many years has it been? A long time. 5, 6, 7.
I'm in another decade, so
Is it a decade?
I'm in another
Oh,
decade.
you're in another decade. Yeah,
Mhm.
no, I think it may be 8 or 9 even. Or at least
Yeah, it's at least
8,
9.
8 or 9. Wow. Well, look,
Yeah.
Diane, thank you for being a fantastic co-host as always.
No, thank you for the honor. Thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to come into your lives out there, all of you listening tonight. We thank you. Don't forget to like the page, subscribe to the page, because the more activity we have on YouTube, the more people we can reach together. Diane, thank you so much for being here again, always.
Thank
And
you, Roland.
you're welcome. And to all of you, we say amen, namaste, om shanti, and all those beautiful things. And until next time, have a beautiful night.